If you've made it all the way through the tutorial series and your robot is still not driving properly, it's likely due to the direction of your motors. So what do I mean by this? If you look at your motor, you'll see an arrow and a circular motion. This indicates the forward spinning direction of your motor. So we know that when we give a positive input to a motor, it's supposed to spin forward. Well, how do we define which direction is either forward or backwards? Well, this arrow lets us know that the circular motion which follows this arrow is considered to be forward. So with a positive input to this motor, it will spin in the exact same direction as this arrow. With a negative input, it will spin in the opposite direction of this arrow. So, in the tutorial series, I assume that every motor on the robot has its natural forward spinning direction corresponding with the forward motion of the robot. So, if we take a look at this six motor tank style drivetrain, where we assume that this is the back side of the robot and this is the front side, we can specifically take a look at the left side of motors. And what you'll see is that the spinning direction of this left side, as well as the right side, will correspond with the forward motion of our robot. So, assuming that this is the front of our robot, in order to go forward, the motors need to spin in this direction. Well, that spinning direction is the exact same direction as as the natural forward spinning direction of each of these motors. And so that is the assumption I made when making this tutorial is that the forward direction of your motors corresponds with the forward motion of the robot. So if that is not the case for each of your motors, then you'll have to reverse these motors. Luckily, there's a way to reverse the motors in the code without having to physically uninstall them, change their direction, and then reinstall them to the robot. So firstly, you want to figure out what motors you need to reverse. In this case, I'm just going to assume I have to reverse my left front motor. So to do that, I'll come to where we created our motors. I'll go into the parentheses and put comma after the port number, and then I'll put true. And that is quite literally all you have to do in order to reverse that motor.